Hello and welcome to Eyes on Research, the podcast that digests the latest scientific innovations in eye research using simple and understandable terms. I am your host, Thales Guimarães, medical doctor and clinician scientist at Moorfields Eye Hospital. Hello, my friends, and welcome to another episode of your favorite science communication podcast focusing in the eyes and vision. I hope you're having an absolutely great week so far. We are in August already. Come on, man, right? It's crazy. I'm not sure if you guys have this feeling too, but it feels like every year is passing a little bit faster than the previous one. It's absolutely nuts, man. But I hope you're having a great year and a great week so far. In case you have not listened to our communication from last week, I'm not even going to call that an episode. It was a short communication. Go give it a listen, but the too long didn't read version is that we are starting a new series named the Eyes on Research Guide 2, and it's an opportunity to cover some common misconceptions and commonly asked questions about some specific topics that we get from our patients all the time. And this is based, or should I say, it's taken from a very nice podcast that I absolutely love. And I thought it was an absolutely great idea. There's so many topics in eye and vision research that I would like to explore a little bit more. So I think it was the perfect marriage. Now we have a schedule that is on our social media accounts. You can look for it on at Eyes on Research. It's also going to be in my support page, in the newsletter page, and that's on the description of this episode. So if you click there and you just look and you browse through the posts, you will find the schedule there, because I'll leave a specific post with the schedule. But on the first episode, just to clarify, this series is going to take 8 episodes in total. It's the same thing. Nothing is going to change. Episodes are every Wednesdays, and we're going to have eight episodes, one a week through August and September. So the first episode that we'll have is about guide dogs, right? This is your Eyes on Research guide to guide dogs. Now, guide dogs are a type of assistant dogs, right? And when we look at assistant dogs, we have to think of two different types, or maybe we can subdivide those into two different types: service dogs and facility dogs. And the difference is in the name, right? Service dogs is for individuals, and facility dogs is for facilities, right? Usually, facility dogs are used by working professionals to aid multiple people. So you see those dogs, sometimes even horse. I've seen it once walking through the hospital, right? And also for individuals is when you have the service dogs. Now, service dogs and facility dogs can be subdivided depending on the function, right? And let's go to facility dogs first. So facility dogs, you can have courthouse facility dogs in educational settings, for example, facility dogs in healthcare environments, which is the case of the dogs that roam through the hospital, and also therapy dogs, right? And in the case of the individual service dogs, we have several types, right? And they are mostly based on health needs. So, for example, you have the guide dogs, you have the hearing dogs, you have mental health assistant dogs, you have mobility assistance dogs, you have medical response dogs, right? Those very cool dogs that go into helicopters with the fire crew. It's absolutely amazing what they do, and they rescue a lot of people. And you can also have seizure response dogs, right? Amongst others, right? Dogs that sense when the owner is with low glycemic, those low glucose levels, those kind of things. Now, guide dogs are specific types of service dogs, of assistant dogs, that are trained to lead blind or visually impaired individuals and navigate them through obstacles, or help guide them through obstacles that they can't see, right? And they are great visual mobility aid, right? We're talking about people that can't typically see the corner or maybe a bump in the road. Guide dogs and other service dogs typically are exempt from any regulation against the presence of animals, right, in specific places. For instance, and a few examples that comes to mind are shopping malls and restaurants. They cannot forbid guide dogs to be with their owner, right? And these laws change depending on the country, and these are usually national level laws, right? For instance, in the United States, the Americans with Disability Act allows dogs to be present in any public space with the owner. The same in South Korea. It's illegal to not allow service animals to go to public spaces. That's the same in the UK. That's the same in Portugal. So it's very good because, this is a law that's much needed. We are not talking about a pet, right? These are working dogs. How does a dog come to become a guide dog, right? And I guess to start is, I would say that most of the research that comes for training guide dogs, right, comes from Germany during the First World War. The behavior and training methods of service animals was studied in detail under these conditions, these war conditions, and they were evaluated to see what would be the best method of training that they could give the dog, and what was the optimal outcome that they could reach, or in other words, how well could the dog perform, how much could they stretch these capabilities. And well, I think they did a great job. There are some specific breeds, and this has been used, this has been chosen for specific reasons. Although most breeds of dogs can be trained, there are a few that are chosen more often because of their general temperament or their training potential, right? So dogs like German Shepherds, Poodles, Labradors, and Golden Retriever are the most likely to be chosen. They are also one of the easiest dogs to train, right? They get the training very easy, and they are very good in it, and they have a good temperament, right? The most popular breed of dog these days, I would say, is the Labrador Retriever, or at least I don't have any data for that, but I would say that that's the one that I see the most in the UK. It's the Labrador Retriever. It's easier to care for, right? It has a short hair, and keep, even in cases of first time dog owners, right? If you think of a dog like the German Shepherd, you need to have a certain attitude, right? You need to be the alpha in that condition. So you need to be a dog owner that has more, I would say, knowledge with how to care for dogs, right? So Labrador Retrievers are a sweet dog, right? We see them everywhere, and they are quite gentle, and this is ideal in this specific scenario. Now, the benefits of having a guide dog, and I guess that's a question that I have gotten from some patients who are not blind, right? Because the people who are blind, they understand what the importance is. The people who are not blind are the ones that need to listen to this episode, right? There's plenty of benefits of owning a guide dog. First, owning a therapy animal has social and psychological benefits. First thing that comes to mind is increased level of confidence, then a greater sense of security, right? and friendship with the dog. Think about this, right? You are with this dog the whole day and you can't see the world as you should. So, you not only have a sense of security that someone is watching over you, because that's exactly what these dogs are doing, right? These are working dogs, don't forget that. But that you also get a bond, like it's a true friend. And probably, being a dog owner myself, um, probably the best friend you ever had, right? Then there is also the sense of independence, because think about this, right? You not only you have security that you have a dog with you that's taking care of you, you not only you have a friendship, that's a friend that's out there with you the whole time. If it rains, if it doesn't, if it's sunny, if it's warm, right? He's going to be there with you. It also gives you independence, right? People walk more and exercise more with dogs. Now you become less dependent, I guess. In terms of public awareness, right? We think that, people are more aware that there's a blind person near them, and you can next time you uh, see someone with a guide dog, you immediately realize that this is the case, because you see someone with a white cane, sometimes you don't even notice that they have a cane, right? If they are severely sight impaired and or completely blind, you may notice, but sometimes it may just, if they have a little bit of vision but they're wearing the cane, they will be able to cross the street, right? So you may not even notice the cane. But when you have a guide dog that occupies a space, right, that brings your eyes to the dog. So it's, people tend to offer, or people with guide dogs more assistance, right, because they notice then a little bit more. And I think it's all about understanding, right, that there's a blind person near you, and remember that not all disabilities are visible. Some people are blind and they can see 20/20. How does that work, right? Well, it works in a very simple way. They can see 20/20 through a funnel. They have tunnel vision. They can't navigate, they can't do anything at night, but they can see if they focus very well, and they can read the 20/20 um, line in the chart, in the reading chart, right? Sometimes these things are invisible. Think about the other benefit, right? When you are in unknown spaces, sometimes a long white cane may not be ideal too. Guide dogs can direct their owners through the right path in a space that is unknown to the blind person, right? Because they're not using the sense of vision. Some of those things they memorize, right? And they familiarize themselves with, so they know where they're walking. A guide dog is going to see, right? And to guide them through the best route. Another benefit is, as I said, the bonds that the owner gets with the dogs, right? A research study published in 2005, right, and it was published by White March in 2005 in the journal Visual Impairment Research. Reported the results of a telephone survey with 800 visually impaired individuals. Now, amongst all the benefits relating to mobility and confidence, a striking point of this survey was that the dogs are not seen as a working animal, right? But they are seen as a loyal and trustworthy friend. Now, how relevant is that, right? How heartwarming is that? It's a true friend. It's a guide, right? It's a friend, it's a guide, and it's a carer, right? So remember, these are working dogs. Remember this the next time you see a guide dog doing their very nice work. Speaking of which, I guess this is the best way to wrap this up. What is the etiquette that you, who is seeing someone with a guide dog, right, needs to have? What should you not do when you see one? And that's, I think is the best way to end this first episode of the Eyes of Research Guide to. In that, now I'm going to guide you in what you should not do when you see a guide dog. The first thing is you can appreciate the guide dog, right? Don't take its attention away, but you can appreciate that it's doing a nice work, it's a working dog. Don't take the dog's attention, right? It's working. Don't talk, don't touch, don't distract the dog while he's wearing his vest or harness, right? And when they put that, it means that they are working, right? So they're not resting. You remember that these dogs are at work, right? Do you like to be disturbed when you are at work? I can guarantee not. Even if you don't like your work, right? Sometimes you need to get things done, and disturbing is not going to help. Don't pet the dog, right? Respect the dog as a worker. Now, when I see people trying to pet a guide dog, man, that literally my pressure goes up because I'm like, no, please don't. Right? Don't touch the dog. We need to. That's the thing about inclusion, isn't it? We are the ones that need to educate ourselves in what we need to do and what we don't need to do. Guide dogs are part of the society, so you have the obligation to understand what you can do and what you can't do, right? So be very careful with that. Speak directly to the handler, right? Not the dog. Speak to the owner of the dog. Service dogs have the right of way. That means, my friends, that you need to be nice and kind and move out of the way. If you see someone coming in the street and if you see someone coming with a guide dog, right, the first thing is that you need to look for your surroundings because you have vision. Right? The person who is with the guide dog is relying on the guide dog, and the guide dogs do a great job. But you, as a human, you will understand, right? Can I pass with this person and the guide dog? Does it fit? If it's a straight sidewalk, just wait, my friend, because they have the right of way. And if you see that it's tight, but they are coming, just squeeze yourself. That's fine. People will actually compliment you for doing that. So give them the right of way. And then if you see a guide dog that's not working, allow it to rest. And the dogs are not working all the time, right? That's one of the things that people don't realize. The dogs, they have their time to eat, their time to drink water, their time to pee, their time to poop, and their time to rest, right? And they have the time that they spend with their good friend, with the owner. And we have to respect that. Now, when they are sleeping, let them rest, man. Let them rest because they did hard work. They're caring for someone 24/7 when they are out in the street navigating, right? So they need to understand a variety of things, right? They're trained to do that, right? And they have very good instincts, but we need to let them rest because this tires them as well. To wrap all of this up, guide dogs are powerful tools to blind people. They are a type of assistance dog, a type of service dog that is trained to help the blind person or the person who is sight impaired or severely sight impaired to navigate. Respect the guide dog. Don't interact with it. And remember that the dog has the right of way. Also, remember that these are working dogs, so treat them with the respect that they deserve. There are several benefits for blind people to have a guide dog. It's not only a very loyal friend, but also a carer and a support dog that helps the blind person to all of the things that we take for granted, navigating in the streets, basic things like crossing the streets, right? So, I hope this raises a little bit of awareness, right? And I guess this is one of the points of this podcast, right? I'm doing this for the patient, for you, right? For the families, for people who are into and out of the scientific world, right? But one of the things that I want to do with this is also to raise awareness, right? So, for example, we have an episode lined up on cataract surgery or best eye protection to use in the sun or in situations like a solar eclipse. And why is it that I want that? Is it only to inform you? Yes, but it's also to raise awareness of the things that you can do and that you can't do. Everything that we say in this podcast has been reviewed by me. I do a literature review, an actual literature review before this. So I look at what's out there in the scientific literature to complement with what I already know as an ophthalmologist myself. So I'm not making any of these things up. And I hope, episodes like this help raise a little bit of awareness and hopefully make the world a better place. Thank you so much for listening to me today, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of the week. Don't forget that we have social media accounts. If you search for us on @EyesOnResearch on your favorite social media, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, you name it, we are there. So go look for us. We post short videos there all the time, and also some specific segments for the episode to serve as a teaser, and also cool quotes from the people that I invite to participate in these episodes. And by the way, we do have some people that I am interviewing soon, so I'm looking very much forward to that. And you get a break of my voice for a little bit, which is great. And you also should look to our support page in the description of this episode. It's linked there. Our support page is the same page that we are using to write our newsletter. And these are things that did not go on to become a full episode, or things that are a little bit more, I should say, urgent. So, for example, some very cool research news just got published this week, so I'll post in the article, right, if I don't have enough time to cover in the episodes. So I hope that is a good source of information for you. I leave all the hyperlinks there so you can go and look at the information yourself and take your own conclusions out of those studies. Anyway, if you like what we do, share this podcast widely and make sure to give us a rating in your favorite platform or in the platform that you're listening to this episode right now. That really helps in increasing our visibility. Otherwise, I hope you have a wonderful rest of the week, and I'll see you in next week's episode. Have a wonderful day. Bye bye.